Hey folks, today we are taking a look at AM-19 Gaia Unicron. This is the highly anticipated figure from the TakaraTomy toy line. Now this is a Japanese exclusive at this time. We have no idea if this is going to be coming to the US as of the recording of this review. I got this guy from my good friends at TF Source and I did pay for the figure. So, taking a look at the box, he is in the, well, what I would call this is a little bit larger than the standard Voyager class box. On the one side, we've got his robot mode, a mid-transformation mode, and his angry volcano hermit crab mode. Then on the back, we show his Minicon partner, his combination with Prime, and some other stats down here in Japanese. And on the other side, on the fourth side, he's got his robot mode and then his two combined modes with Optimus and Megatron. And these are the Voyager class figures of Optimus and Megatron. And then on the top, we have what appears to, well, on the top, what we've got here is his visage in the show, or as he shows up in the show. And on the bottom of the box, legal jargon. As you can see, his stats are maxed out. He is 10 in everything. In fact, I'd say he's probably infinity in everything. So let's go ahead and get him opened up and take a look what's in the box. Here we have Unicron as he is right out of the box. So pulling him up a little bit so you can see just how much space these giant horns are going to take up. Now the first thing I do want to tell you is these horns are very soft plastic. They're not hard plastic at all. And then these spines back here are even softer. I mean, they are really, really fragile. And I have a suspicion that in a couple of years, these are going to become very brittle. I just worry about that. It's that kind of plastic. Overall, though, I think the robot mode looks good. I like the gold color, and I like the spiky hands, and I kind of dig it. It's kind of crazy. Now, you'll hear the squeaking of my turntable as it spins. From the back, it looks absolutely ridiculous. He has a giant Unicron face on his back. It looks menacing. I'm not going to lie. This figure in robot mode looks incredibly menacing. Though the weird hollow hand thing is a little bit strange. I'm not totally fond of that. But overall, I like the robot mode. Posability for Unicron isn't that bad, given all the stuff he's got pointing off of him. Now, I do want to say one thing I did miss is his shoulder pads were initially down during the beginning of the video, and that's because I completely missed the fact that there are rubber bands holding down these shoulder pads. So once you clip those off, they fold right up. So posability-wise, as you see, his horns are pretty posable. There's a swivel right at the shoulder, and then above the, or I'm sorry, at the collar. Then there are a couple of ball joints. There's a swivel joint here for the horn, and then there is a ball joint here behind the horn. It is a limited ball joint, though. Head is on a ball joint, but it's limited due to the helmet. But the helmet can pull up and make him look absolutely ridiculous. Shoulders are a ball joint, and then down at the just above the elbow is a swivel, and then a hinge joint, which gives him some posability. I guess you could flip people off with your giant spiky hand, but eh. No torso articulation. Hip is at a ball joint. Then there is a swivel joint here, but you're not really going to use it all that much except in the transformation. And then there is a knee joint that is pretty limited. That's about as far as you can go. And their feet, well, they're not going to be posing all that much. Now, I will state that my figure has very loose hips. Or they're pretty loose. They're not very loose, but they are pretty loose. And posing him and picking him up does have a tendency to make him kind of wiggle all about. Now, build quality-wise, you're probably wondering, how is this figure build quality-wise? Well, it's covered in soft and hard plastic. It's very, very strange. So the horns, the spikes, the tips of the helmet, shoulder pads, parts of the rocky bits, and these weird knee pads, they are all very, very soft plastic. I mean, incredibly soft. The same plastic that's up here on the horns and the spines. especially here on the hands. Now, I'm not sure how well this is coming up on camera, but there are two different components to this spike hand. First is a hard plastic base, and then on top of that is this much softer plastic that has these what look to be mini-con ports attached. So those plastics are very, very soft. It's weird. Texturally, this is a very strange figure because you grab one part of it and the plastic feels one way, and then you move your hand and you have a different feeling plastic. It's just very, very odd. So here we have Unicron's little arms Micron. He's this little mole tank dude. Very cool looking, very cute, very monochrome. Little Decepticon symbol in there. Now, I didn't show the assembly simply because, well, it took me less than 3 minutes to put him together. He was only 8 pieces, and he pretty much just sandwiches together from those 8 pieces. So there really wasn't a point to actually showing him being assembled. His transformation is very simple. Grab his tail, actually grab his legs, and you can fold them up first, but that doesn't help you. So you grab his tail, and you push it down, and then it'll fold all the way around like that. And then you fold up his little tread legs, and there you go. You got yourself a little poking claw. So, how does this attach to Unicron? To attach this to Unicron, first we're going to take his left arm and pull it off at the elbow. Now this piece will go along to the other side, and we'll just fold it, the hinge up into the piece, and then just attach it. And they peg in together. And actually, the few times I've done this, sorry. You have to connect this hinge first. And then it just folds up and attaches. Sorry about that. That was me being stupid. And then we just take him and plug him in. That's it. So now here we have the more show-accurate Unicron with one big poking finger and one big smashing arm. Actually, looks fine to me. I rather like this. I think this looks good. One thing I do want to show you guys before we get to the transformation is he does have an extra Arms Micron gimmick. What you need is Megatron's gun, Micron, Arachnid's spider one, and then his. And then they merge together to form a giant claw hand for Unicron. That's pretty sweet. Now, I will be getting this guy, but I don't know when this one's going to be available. So when I do get both of them, I will go ahead and show this to you. But that is a very cool addition. I rather dig it. As I said, the directions are rather big. As you can see, they go clear off the table. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, I have to apologize for changing my audio source, as the microphone just wasn't picking me up with the way I have the camera handled, or the camera positioned. So, for the transformation, it's actually not too bad, but it is a little weird. To start off with, we're going to remove both of his arms. First, we'll remove the arms Micron, and then we'll remove the big fist. Now, for this one arm, what we're going to do is open up the hinges and actually fold, or open up the fist and actually fold the hinges up like that so that they're parallel, and you'll see why here in a second. Next, we're going to take Unicron, the figure proper, and there are 2 tabs on the sides of his, just under his pecs. Push those towards the front of the figure and up to free the front half of the toy. So sometimes we just gotta get in there. Oh, this is very tight also. This is probably the hardest part of the transformation. It's just getting this hinge undone. Now, you can cheat and pop the face off and pop the entire top of the robot mode off, and then kind of come in here with some leverage and just get this apart like that. So what happens is the whole front lifts up and opens up like that. And you reach inside the chest and pull out this little front piece. Now what we'll do is bring this section back and put it back on. Okay, so now that we got the head part back on, put this up as far up as it'll go. take the Unicron helmet, lift it up, and push it forward as far as that will go until it snaps. So it's almost laying on top of the gold piece here. Now, I have been trying to get it flush because the instructions show it as being flush right up against the chest plate or breastplate, but it just doesn't work. So, going into the center of the figure and fold down, as we did, fold the shoulder pads down, and then fold the arms into the cavity. And just kind of get them pointing straight down like that. Then come in with this that we opened up before, the fist, and slide both of those pegs up into the forearms and fold it up. So what will happen is these peg holes will peg into these pegs. And before you do that, you actually need to take the shoulder pads and fold them completely forward like that. So fold that up, peg them into place like that. Next, we will come down to the legs and actually take the entire chrome piece and unpeg it, allowing you to fold the foot up, and then take the chrome piece, fold it back up, and peg it back into place. And we'll do the same thing over here. Just wiggle it so you get the chrome piece unpegged, fold the foot up, and then bring the chrome piece back down, and peg that into place. Then take the legs and rotate them up and around so that the ball joint is pointing up towards where the head was. So do that on both sides. And then take the lower leg and kind of grab it and pull that hinge in. There's another hinge right below the knee. Oops, sorry. There's another hinge right below the knee, right there. Fold those things forward and then just get everything lined up so that these little tabs on the tips of the feet peg in to these slots on the breastplate, right where my finger is. So just kind of work everything around and get everything lined up and just kind of force it where you need to. All right, and then get the horns pointing forward and the spurs pointing back like that. Make sure Unicron's not looking. And then take your little arms micron, and he plugs in right underneath the front of the figure, like that. I got nothing. I got nothing. Still got nothing. As you can see, what Unicron transforms into is an angry volcano. That is the stupidest alternate mode I have ever seen. He is an angry volcano with a face. So where's Joe? Can we toss him in there? Alright, for I'm sorry for the bad 80s movie reference. Also, I do apologize for my voice. I am recording this video review over the course of a couple of days, and for some reason today, my allergies are going absolutely insane, and my voice sounds really, really weird. So, sorry about that. So as you can see, we have this angry volcano god look going, and he doesn't really want to stand up on his own. Now, what you can do is you can actually unpeg the gold pieces here and fold them down a little bit, which I'll show you, to maybe form the base of a volcano, or like just the rocky parts so it can hold him up a little bit, but it doesn't actually work in practice. I've been trying to get this thing to stand up, but it doesn't really work all that well. I guess you could do something like that, but that doesn't really work, and it just kind of falls apart in this mode, and this is a dumb mode. I'm sorry, it is. Regardless of what you think of the robot mode, this angry volcano mode is just stupid. Okay, so we have this stupid little angry volcano mode. Well, back a couple of years ago, we had an equally silly mode, Unicron figure. You all might remember this figure as being my first video review, was this guy. He was is giant Unicron tank. a Unicron tank. Let that sink in for a second. This figure is infinitely more awesome in vehicle mode than this figure. But the funny thing is, they're both about the same size. Very, very strange, this. I do find it funny how close the bot modes are in similarity. They both are a little bit weird and a little bit crazy, but both of them are fun, and I like both of the robot modes. I kind of like the Prime version of Unicron a little bit better than the Cybertron version. You don't have that stupid Cyber Planet key gimmick. And the figure, actually, this figure stays together a little bit better than this guy does, and I think this is just due to age for the Cybertron guy. Now, before we continue on with the review, I do want to mention something that I've discovered as a result of transforming him. His legs are very loose now. I mean, they have trouble holding the weight of the figure, actually. I really can't believe how loose they've gotten just from transforming him. If you do get this figure, be aware of that. For the last part of the review, we are going to be looking at how Unicron merges with Voyager-class Powerizer Prime and Voyager-class Powerizer Megatron. For the combining procedure, the first thing we're going to do are remove the arms, turn the figure around, grab Unicron's chinny chin chin, and flip up. That will pull the face from the rest of the body, and then lift up and pull the head, horns, and these things off of the main part of the body. So we'll take the body and put it off to the side. Now, first thing, remember these purple bits? They were on that runner. This is where they go. The next thing we are going to do is take the whole unit and pull that forward so it's pointing up in front of the face. Next, we're going to take the head, turn the head around, and push it straight down like that, so it's pointing back. Then take the horns and the steer unit, or the wing unit, I guess, rotate them around like this so that the horns are pointing down and these bits are pointing up. Then fold them back, pointing towards the back with the rest of the head. And then take the rubber units and rotate them forward, like that. And so far we are done with these, or this section. Now we take the body, and this is where things get a little bit weird. First, we're going to take one of the legs and pull the gold part off. Then take the leg and turn it such that the thigh guard is pointing towards the back of the figure while you're not moving the actual ball joint, like that. Put the leg up, forward, twist it up, forward like this. So you get it kind of straight like that. Then that same hinge that we used before, bring that forward. And then reach into the leg, and you will split the leg open along its seam. So just kind of open it up like this. Like that. So we're going to want to do that on both sides. So like that. Turn. Bend. Unpeg. Just kind of let that flop off to the side. Close the foot. And split it at the seam. Like that. Now, according to the directions, you're supposed to end up with something like this. Something like this. Next, what we're going to do is open up the chest again, like that. And for all intents and purposes, I think we're supposed to actually turn the whole unit upside down. Oops. And then take these gold pieces and swivel them, or the chrome pieces, and swivel them up to the top like that. Next, we're going to take our club, open it up, split it apart, make sure that both pegs are flipped out, and then these bits are going to peg in to the inside of the gold bits. So you see those peg holes? Just peg it in right there. And it doesn't always want to go in. So this is what we end up with. For the combination, we will begin with Megatron. Now the first thing you need to do is make sure that these are folded up and pointed straight back. And then what we're going to do is take the whole thing and just kind of drape it over his shoulders with this little gold bar sliding in between the points on his shoulder pad, like that. And they should snap in to those points. Now that I've got the backpack on after a little bit of finagling off camera, what we're going to do is add this bit. And to do that, we will bring this up, drape it over his shoulders like that, and then just keep going until you can take these pegs, fold them down, and peg them in like that. Here we have Megatron combined with Unicron, and this is dumb. Grade A dumb. I could barely get him into his unitard here, and just, I mean, look at this. What the hell? This is just, oh, this is so stupid. All right, you know what? Let's try Prime. Let's see if Prime makes a difference. Ironically, Prime is a bit better for this. It still doesn't look good, but it actually can combine. There are pegs up on the shoulder, or here, when it turns around, I'll show you. There are pegs that actually plug into Prime's shoulders. I don't know how well you could see them, but they actually hold the entire bit of the kibble in. So that is a positive. Also, it just feels better on Prime for some reason, which is woefully ironic, if you know what I mean. This is not a good idea. I don't know what possessed the toy designers to have these two figures combine with Unicron. There's no point, and it's really stupid. Final thoughts on Unicron, mixed. I like the robot mode. I think the robot mode is nice. I like the coloring, I like the detailing. Overall, I think the robot mode works for this toy. All the other modes are dumb. The angry volcano mode is dumb, but it's dumb in a way that I can actually get behind a little bit. He was a volcano in the show. The character, it works for the character, and you could put him on top of your Armada Unicron, and he looks just silly. The combination modes with Prime and Megatron, though, are just flat out useless. I get what they were going for, but it makes no sense, and it really feels like a desperation move on the toy designers. Overall, should you buy Unicron? Should you have Gaia Unicron in your collection? I'm going to have to say no. Only get this figure if you have to have this figure. There are a couple of other Unicron figures out there that you might want before you want to pick this one up. Casual fans are going to want to stay far away from this thing. This is not for the casual Transformers fan. Hardcore fans only. And I mean hardcore. You've got to be willing to pay the extra money, to pay the import fees, all of that for this figure. Otherwise, he's just not worth it unless you are a hardcore Transformers fan.